All right, let's just dive right in. We are all constantly swimming in a sea of breaking news, alerts, and headlines. It's a lot. But in that flood of information, how do you even begin to sort out what's real from what's not? Well, that's what we're here for. We're going to break down the skills you need to become your own fact checker. So think about it for a second. Some huge event happens. Your phone starts buzzing like crazy, headlines are popping up everywhere. But in that first chaotic hour, the actual truth, it's usually struggling to even get its shoes on while the rumors are already running a marathon. Let's look at a real-world case to see just how fast a lie can take over. Okay, look at this timeline. The second that news broke about a reported shooting involving conservative activist Charlie Kirk, the clock started ticking. And get this, within just 15 minutes, AI chatbots were already blasting out completely false claims about who did it. The real official info from law enforcement? That didn't show up for another 30 minutes. By then, the lie had a massive, massive head start. That first hour really shines a spotlight on our new reality, what you could call an information emergency. Because with AI now in the mix, misinformation isn't just spreading anymore. It is accelerating like a wildfire. And listen, we're not talking about some obscure hidden tech here. In that shooting incident, the AI tools pushing the false story were from X, from Perplexity, and even from Google. These are tools that are becoming central to how we get our news. And in a really critical moment, they got it dead wrong, and they got it wrong fast. So, that's the absolute chaos of breaking news. But what about information that isn't just accidentally wrong, but is actually designed to be misleading? Well, that takes us beyond the simple soundbite and into the world of picking apart political claims. Take a claim like this one from former President Trump. I've ended 6 or 7 wars. I mean, that's a powerful statement, right? It makes you picture this historic level of peacemaking. But let's actually look at the record. And here's where you see the disconnect. The claim is super simple. Wars ended. But when you look closer, foreign policy experts show that, well, those conflicts are mostly still happening. It's a textbook case of a really bold claim running into a much, much more complicated reality. Or how about this one on trade? President Trump claimed the European Union won't buy U.S. cars or food, and he used that as a reason to threaten tariffs. It sounds pretty absolute, doesn't it? Like a done deal? Yeah, but then you take a quick peek at the actual trade data, and it tells a completely different story. As you can see right here, both American cars and food are in fact actively bought and sold in the EU. The hard numbers just don't back up the claim. It's that simple. So sometimes the data gives you a nice, clear answer. But what happens when a number is technically correct, but it's being used to paint a really misleading picture? That's when we have to start decoding the data, because numbers, believe me, they always need context. You've probably seen a headline with a number just like this one, 1.6 million. It's huge, it's dramatic, and it's designed to grab your attention immediately. In this case, it was part of a story about undocumented immigrants leaving the U.S. But is a single number like that ever the full story? A figure that dramatic should be a little red flag. It should make you pause and ask a really simple question. Okay, what am I not being told here? And it turns out the context is absolutely everything. That big number, it came from an early government report that was filled with warnings and disclaimers. Population researchers jumped in right away to say, hey, hold on, it is way too early to call this a mass exodus. So the number was real, but the story it was being used to tell was jumping the gun. And you know, this is actually a normal part of the whole process. As one former head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics put it, these kinds of data revisions are a feature, not a bug. It just means that the first reports you see are often just a rough draft of the truth, and they're going to change as better information comes in. Okay, so we've learned to be skeptical of first reports, to question political claims, and even to dig into data. But what about our own eyes? What happens when you see the proof right there on video? Well, in the age of AI, even that isn't enough anymore. This is where we run into something called a deepfake. It's a video that looks shockingly real, but it's a total fabrication. Basically, AI is used to digitally puppet someone, mapping their face and their voice onto another video to make them say and do things they absolutely never did. And here's how scammers are using it for medical cons right now. First, they just find a video of a real trusted doctor online. Easy enough. Then they use AI to change what the doctor is saying and perfectly sync their lips, making it look like they're endorsing some sketchy product. And finally, they just blast this fake video all over social media, using a trusted face to sell a complete lie. So, from AI rumors that literally outrun the truth to deepfake videos designed to fool our own eyes, the challenges out there are very, very real. Which brings us to the most important question of all. What can we actually do about it? Let's build your personal information toolkit. Okay, here are the key strategies. First, always be skeptical of those initial breaking news reports. Remember, that 30-minute head start the lie had. Second, when you hear a big claim, go look for the actual record or data, just like we did with those trade numbers. Third, always ask for context, especially with a shocking number like that 1.6 million figure. And finally, you have to accept that even video can be faked. Seeing isn't automatically believing anymore. And all of this leaves us with one final big question. In an age of instant information and even faster misinformation, the platforms and the tools, they're always going to be playing catch-up. So who is the final line of defense? The final fact checker? That has to be you.